done with.
Dude, you've been done.
I'm still here.
For what? Why? Because you just want to be a asshole.
You're right.
Then why the would you be in this competition? Bone face.
Why do you look 50 and you're 24?
What? What did you say? Go yourself, you.
Would you rather have the brand new PS5 or a weekend with these three lovely ladies and you can do anything you want with them?
Wait, anything with them?
Like anything.
A whole weekend?
A whole weekend.
Damn, with the PS5 though, like it just.
I know.
Oh, damn, y'all beautiful though, but.
Hold on, what'd you say?
PS5 or us?
Oh,
bro, y'all beautiful, but I had a PlayStation 4 for 4 years, but I need a PS5.
God.
My nigga.
Y'all, so this dude came in my DM yesterday. He was like, "You're pretty, I'm trying to get to know you." He literally sent me $1,000 just to get to know me. And y'all literally sit here and think I'm gonna get to know y'all for free when somebody just paid me $1K for him to get to know me? Be so for real.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now.
Would you feel comfortable if your father was watching your OnlyFans and subscribing to it?
Probably not, no.
You would not feel comfortable, and I'll tell you why. That's because in your heart of hearts, in your soul, if you still got one, you know it's wrong. That's your work. In my work, if my mother consumed my work, I'd be thankful and pleased that she took an interest in my work and supported my work. If she bought my products, I'd be thankful. If your mother or father bought your products, you'd be disgusted and ashamed because you know what you're doing is wrong and the product of what you're doing is bad.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
I got a question for you. Do you have car insurance?
100%. No reason.
All right. Do you have homeowners insurance?
100%.
Do you have life insurance?
100%.
Do you have medical insurance?
100%.
Did you get tired of your insurance agent talking about the possibilities of you losing your life and being rewarded? Hold on for a second. I know, but don't be a butt person. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. You have insurances. Although it's a very uncomfortable situation, and life insurance people who sell it tend to be scumbags. They tend to be looked at as scumbags, like, I don't want to have this conversation about me dying, but you surely will die. So you better have the conversation. The reality is, yes, it's a very tough conversation. I have to spend a lot of time talking about it. It's very difficult. However, there needs to be some insurance, and there's no insurance, and so we must.
Good evening, y'all. It's Cali West. Thank you for tuning in to another episode. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you're feeling this shit. All right, let's see what we got going on here. Now, I must say, there's going to be a lot of things I'm going to say tonight that might be unpopular, but anyone who is not new to the Rightosphere know that we tell the truth here. We don't be lying. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, it's all about facts and feelings. Now, with that being said, we're going to make this a little interesting tonight because we actually have my boy, Mr. Good Bread, you know what I'm saying? He's in the chat and he's coming in, you know what I'm saying, to, chime in on the situation and give another perspective, on the situation. So we appreciate him coming in. Yo, Mr. Goodbread, are you in?
Salute. I'm here, bro.
I,
Appreciate you, my guy.
yeah, man. It's nothing. It's all good, G. You know, I appreciate you for tuning in. So yeah, man. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do you know anything about this Karmelo Anthony case, like other than what maybe I might have maybe touched on in regard to that?
Yeah, nah. You brought it to my attention. I was somewhere else. I was all over the place.
Okay,
So
I know. Look, Pete, this what's ironic is a lot of people are not completely familiar with this situation. So with that being said, I might as well try to bring you up to speed, and maybe do you want to hear what the media has to say about the situation?
yeah, we could go news. We could go with the news. What the news is saying. We could definitely.
Right. Just to be what's the word? Because we're not just gonna just protect him necessarily. We're not gonna protect people necessarily because they're black, or we're not gonna villainize anyone just because they're white either. We're not really here for that here. And my discussion tonight is not whether he's right or wrong. One thing I just want to discuss is I just feel that both, the right and the left, I believe are they're just a little too gun happy to talk about the situation. The right is saying, he just took this innocent boy's life just heinously out of nowhere. And then the left, and then we have, the left, they're basically saying, well, no, it's not just, oh, he just decided to just stab somebody. This is probably self-defense. That's just basically the argument that's coming from both, the sides. But with that being said, I might as well just show what the media had to say, just to kind of bring you up to speed. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just give you the information that I know that I have, because there's a lot of nuance to what the media is saying, and even here's the thing. Like, I don't know if you believe this, but I do believe that there's always a little truth in the lie. So sometimes, they can always kind of tell you about the situation, but if you kind of let the situation play out a little bit more and hear people talk, you end up kind of realizing, some people are lying, or there's a little bit of, there's a little bit more nuance to what people just see up front.
Right. You're right.
Right. So let's see here. There must be something on about the news so I can just show you real quick, just to bring you up on speed. Okay, you know what? We're gonna start with a short video, some YouTube shit. Let's just hear what the media got to say. Let's see here. Ooh, I'm sharing the wrong thing now. Okay. Here we go.
Today, under tighter security after a deadly stabbing last week. Good evening, I'm Steve Eager.
And I'm Heather Hayes. That event was relocated to Little Elm from Frisco with strict requirements for parents and for students. Fox 4's Alex Boyer has more on the event and on the criminal investigation. Alex.
Hey guys, and I can tell you that enhanced security presence was really obvious as soon as folks drove up to Lobo Stadium in Deep Elm. Spectators as well as student athletes had to undergo screening before they could even go in the front doors. There was a very visible police presence at Lobo Stadium in Little Elm Monday. Student athletes and spectators were met by security personnel as soon as they walked up to the front doors. They had to go through metal detectors and have their bags checked before being allowed inside the UIL track meet. Little Elm and Frisco police also provided more security personnel.
And one way or another, people begin to sort of do the Monday morning quarterbacking by saying, look, we should have, could have, and may have done the following things.
Dr. Alex Del Carmen is a criminologist who has been following the developments in this case. Last Wednesday, 17-year-old Austin Metcalf was killed after he was stabbed in the chest during a fight with 17-year-old Karmelo Anthony over what was said to be a seating dispute in the bleachers. Anthony has since been charged with first-degree murder.
Unfortunately, victimization could happen at any time, at any moment, even when we think that we are safe.
Monday also brought the first public comments from the attorneys representing Karmelo Anthony in a statement that said, in part, Karmelo and the entire Anthony family are sincerely saddened that a life was lost and offer their condolences to the family of Austin Metcalf. During this difficult time, we urge the public to refrain from rushing to judgment before all the facts and evidence are presented. And with social media comments swirling about this case, community activists are pressuring Frisco PD to be transparent about the status of the criminal investigation.
The data shows that these acts of violence are random. And they don't happen, every day. Now, the question really is the community concerned enough to be able to, pay the taxes, pay the money, to have the security protocols that need to be in place?
And time will tell. In the meantime, I can tell you that Anthony remains in the Collin County Jail on that $1 million bond. In that same statement from his attorney, the attorney says that amount is, quote, excessive and is looking to get it reduced. For now, they say they are not making any further comment.
So, okay. So now that you got a little bit of a refresher of just what's going on, good bread. I know it's not much information, but just based off of the little information that they gave us, is it safe to assume anything out of this whole situation? Other than, we heard a negative thing about someone getting deleted, right? But does that mean outright that, I'm not saying that he's right for doing this, but is there much information that we got from these newscaster people?
Yeah, it's not. That's not enough information. It's missing some key information. If you're gonna form an opinion on this, you're gonna need some more information. You know how I get down. I would love to know how this young man was raised. So they didn't talk about none of that. They didn't talk about his living situation, his mental situation. They didn't talk about none of that. So you know what I mean? Sounds like two young guys going to school, testosterone, and somebody gonna lose.
Right, I agree, and I just say this. Let's just be real. Teenagers, they do some stupid shit, and I honestly believe that the reason why they're making such a big deal about this situation is not necessarily because of the fact that they have proof that he was a thug or he's a gangster, but I believe that a lot of people are just making, I think especially on the far right, I would say they're making, here's the thing, I'm not gonna just put this on all Republicans or just on the far right, but what I just noticed is that, a lot of people are claiming that, he's this criminal, this and that and the other. And yeah, it's a bad situation when you hear it, but I kind of believe that there is, unfortunately, people might not want to admit to this, but there is a racial overtone in this situation. Not necessarily because I'm not saying that, he did it because he's black or they punked him necessarily because he's black either. But let's just be real. We all know that, when you're black in this country, you're usually innocent. You're usually guilty before you're innocent. Am I wrong with saying that, or am I just being in my feelings and being emotional?
No, that's a fact. That's a fact right there. We and if you black in America and you don't know that, then something wrong with you, boy. You're in denial.
Exactly. So so to sit down here and just act like. Now, with that being said, a lot of people is going around. I've even heard black content creators say that he's a murderer, he deserves to spend the rest of his life in jail, and I'm not saying that he doesn't necessarily deserve to spend his life in jail, but I believe there's a little bit more nuance than people are actually saying and what people are speaking on. Now, with that being said, damn, what's so crazy? It's so crazy when you try to see the truth or you're trying to find the truth, they always hide the truth from you, because I had an article where it basically admit that, because basically what they're saying, what people are going around saying is that essentially that he just out of nowhere, not out of nowhere, but because they asked him to move, they just, he just went ahead and just basically stabbed Buddy. But the truth is, there's a little bit more nuance to it. The nuance to it is the fact that he didn't just attack him. Buddy got, here it is. I found it. Buddy, basically, this Metcalf guy, the young white guy, he put hands on Buddy. Yep. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, and I found an article too. Look, let me show you. Because I meant to read this to everybody here too, because this is information that we need to know.
Facts. See, and we know that everybody is bold. I'm gonna say that everybody can get bold at some point because of that incident at the boat show. So we seen that the black man wasn't the aggressor at that boat show. So if we didn't have that camera on, the reaction, how he reacted to the aggression would have been highlighted, even though he didn't start it. And that's normally how it is when you black in America and you're in a situation with a non-black.
So let me ask a question. On paper, if you didn't see the visuals, if you just heard that some black guys just started attacking some people at a boat, just from optics, from not seeing it, right, but just hearing it on paper, couldn't they twist it and be like, this crazy black man just went ahead and just started attacking these white people? But guess what? Once we've seen the video and we've seen context, that changed it, right?
Exactly.
And guess what? And they're still trying to get them in trouble. They're still trying to put charges on them. You know that? Ain't that crazy? They're still trying to put charges on them, right? So I mean, here's the thing. I'm not, good bread. Us here in the righteous sphere, we don't sit down here and cry racism and stuff like that. That's not even what we're about here. Because we could recognize that the black community definitely needs a overhaul. They definitely need a redo. Like they definitely need to straighten up, right?
Right.
But I truly believe that the black community has nothing to do with this situation. Nothing at all. I don't think the fact that he has black parents have anything to do with it. I don't think the fact that he's listening to rap music has anything to do with it. As a matter of fact, I'll even argue that this dude is not even a quote unquote traditional black dude. And
I was about to say, not to cut you off, did it happen in the black community? Because if it didn't happen in the black community, it does not belong to the black community, period.
I'm glad that you mentioned that, because I want to go to this article because there's a little bit of a video for it too. So I wanted to show more. See, because this is the part, and I'm kind of proud of Channel 7 because see, they showing a little transparency and a little bit of what's the word? A little bit of what I like. I like when people at least have a different angle of the same situation, right? So check this out. You're gonna love this. I gotta show this, because I finally found it. Let's see here. Where's it at? Bada bing, bada boom. So on this article, it says suspect in fatal Texas track meet stabbing allegedly told police he was protecting himself. This came up like 3 days ago. Kind of interesting, right? Let's play that little video, right?
New details about the killing of Austin Metcalf, the student stabbed at a high school track meet near Dallas. According to the arrest affidavit, 17-year-old Karmelo Anthony has confessed to the killing, saying he was trying to protect himself.
He knew how much I loved him, how much I do for him, I do anything for him.
Hunter Metcalf says he held his twin brother Austin as he was dying.
I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab. But then I look at my brother, and then I'm not going to talk about the rest. So.
It happened at the district championship meet in Frisco. Hunter says his brother had asked Karmelo to move his seat because he was sitting under the wrong tent. A witness says Karmelo replied, "Touch me and see what happens." And when Austin grabbed him, Karmelo allegedly pulled a knife.
They asked him to move, and when Austin grabbed his backpack to move, take it, he stabbed him in the chest and killed him.
He's now charged with first-degree murder.
Just because the kid was mad, my son is not here anymore, and I don't understand it.
Austin is being remembered as an honors student with aspirations to play college football. Despite the shocking loss, Austin's father says he chooses forgiveness over anger.
I forgive the other person because the forgiveness is not for him. The forgiveness is for me, so I can have peace. His life is destroyed. My life is destroyed.
The arrest affidavit says as Karmelo Anthony was being arrested, he asked if Austin was okay. Anthony is being held on $1 million bond.
Now, good bread. There's something else I want to show you in this article. See how the news. Oh my God! Hold up.
Facts, yo. She said she died because he was angry. No, bro. No, sis, ma'am. Your son died because he think he tough. Who the fuck give him the right to go grabbing or touching on somebody? That's the problem right there.
Why? A matter of fact, damn, that's so crazy that you mention that, because that's the caveat. The caveat is that, okay, so because he was not in the area or an area for somebody else, that means that this Metcalf guy was supposed to be the enforcer by putting his hands on another man.
Knowing he's big, he's a football type player, he's a big dude. He got a twin. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro, you're dominant. You're dominating the environment. So, you know what I mean? It sound man, like these right here. You kill, yo, listen, only God can judge you, but you kill somebody, you're dead. That's death anyway, you know what I mean, in the eyes of God. So who am I to say what to do with him? That he's gonna reap what he sowed. But definitely the kid. If anybody's watching that kids, bro, don't go putting your hands on people, man. Stop putting your hands on other people. Respect people's space, man. For real. We get that a lot of you guys were probably raised up where you could not have boundaries set because your parents or whatever, your guardians violate your fucking boundaries. So you grow up to be an adult and you just don't know what boundaries is it because you don't have boundaries. You don't understand that people have boundaries, bro. You can't go touching on people, man.
Nope. And what's crazy is let me you know what? No. I'm glad that you mentioned this because look, I want to read the article, right? See, because this is where it brings a little nuance to it, okay? It says a 17-year-old student charged with the murder. As a matter of fact, let's shout out the chat real quick, man. I apologize for being rude, y'all. Let me shout out the chat real quick. Of course, we got a man supporting man, aka MPI. Because salute to Cali West, Mr. Goodbread, and everyone in the chat. I appreciate you, fellow free agent lifestyle member. He says $1 million bond. Get the fuck out of here. Hey, they throwing it at him. We know why. Now, a man supporting man, aka MPI, says stop unnecessarily fucking with people, and you'll still be alive. Hey, facts.
That's a fact. That's a fact, right? That's a fact. For you, who give you the right to go touching on people, man? These niggas is crazy, boy. And then what section was he supposed to sit in? The whole shit sound racist, boy. Like, I ain't even, you know me, I stay far away from that because I know Esau is a black man. But in any event, you know what I mean? That just sound wild racist to me. Like, what section was he supposed to be in then, sir? Like, what? He was supposed to get the fuck from underneath the tent? Were you mad? Were you angry that he was under the tent? Like, because now you got your mom screaming he was angry. Like, nah, it sounded like he was minding his fucking business.
Right. As a matter of fact, look, this is something from YouTube and this part's what the media is not telling you. And I don't know, look, at this point, anything's possible. But listen to what this chick had to say on TikTok. Listen to this.
Stories coming out now. They were on a rain break. They were on a freaking rain break. And Karmelo Anthony was sitting up under that tent because it was raining outside. This is a part of the story that we didn't get. Now, I know a lot of people are still saying, but he brought a knife. That it doesn't matter anything else that happened. He brought a knife, and that is it for me. I don't care. He shouldn't have brought it. And I completely understand that, and I agree with you. I still cannot understand why he brought a knife in the first place either. But what I will say is, if someone is sitting up under a tent because it's raining, right? Because remember, when this story first came out, there were people who were white people who were saying that Karmelo Anthony was looking for a fight and intentionally sat under the tent waiting for someone to try him so that he could use the weapon on him. But that's not the case. The truth is, it was raining outside, so he sat under the tent because it was raining and everybody was on a rain break. He probably wasn't even thinking that much into it, right? So now what? Now the stick has moving. Now all of a sudden it's, well, he should have just fought him like a man. How about keep your hands to your freaking self? How about that? How about if it's raining outside and someone's sitting there to stay dry? How about we just say, you know what? I wouldn't want to be wet either. Just let him stay underneath the tent because it's raining. You know you ain't supposed to be over here, right? Well, we don't want to hear that. He should have fought him like a man. He should have did. How about don't approach people, period? It, to me, even if it wasn't about race, all of this just seems to be ego, right? You see him sitting under your tent. You don't want him there. Do you own the goddamn tent? I thought the tent was from the school. If ain't nobody else tripping, why are you? And then when he tells him, because this is the story that's come out, right? He tells him to move, and Karmelo says no. He says, make me move. And they say that Austin got up and tried.
Now, yo, does that bring a little bit more perspective to the situation too? If that's the case, if it's raining, that would make sense why he was under just any tent.
Bro, it's over. I already heard the key line. I already heard the key piece, the key ingredient. I already heard, and I extracted it, boy. When you gonna tell me why you ain't fight him one-on-one, that means y'all promote this white knight as he's y'all hero. He's y'all Italian stallion. Y'all think he's the nigga that go beating people up. So y'all go to him when y'all want to get shit done. So that's why he got killed. That's why he got killed. Because y'all pumped him up. What the fuck you mean fight him like a man? I'm trying to stand under this tent to keep from getting wet. I shouldn't have to fight nobody. You get what I'm saying? See, the mentality, you got to dig deep behind the psychology when people start talking shit like, he could have fought him like a man. Why did they need to fight? What are y'all promoting over there as parents and as the guardian, like the elders, like, because it was elders there, like, and I'm sure it was the elders that had a problem with the young man sitting there. They knew they couldn't do nothing, so they sent their little pit bull over there and got their pit bull killed. That's what happened. This is why I tell people stop going to get people. Stop going to get people. Handle the shit on your own or just leave it alone. Because 9 times out of 10, it ain't that serious. So if you did the right thing, which would be leave it alone, you live a little.
Exactly. And let's just be real. The twin brother is lying. He's omitting a lot of information. First and foremost, like, I want to read, you know what? I'm glad that you see, you're hitting some good points. With that being said, let me show you back this article because this is very important what this article is saying. See, what they're also not choosing to show, and it's very important, is in this article. The whole fact that he's claiming self-defense. See, it says the incident happened Wednesday morning at Frisco Independent School District Stadium during a track and field championship involving multiple schools in the district. Austin Metcalf, an 11th grader at Frisco Memorial High School, died after police said another student stabbed him during an altercation in the bleachers at the meet. It says the suspect in the deadly stabbing, Karmelo Anthony, a student at Frisco Centennial High School, has been charged with first-degree murder, police said. One officer responded to the scene, said Anthony told him unprompted without being asked any questions about the incident, I was protecting myself according to the arrest report. When the officer advised another responding officer that he had the alleged suspect, Anthony responded, I'm not alleged, I did it, according to the arrest report.
Hold on, bro. They in the same school. They was in identical schools, right? They're in the same school.
Well, they don't go to the same school. He was from a rival school.
Oh, he's from a rival. Okay.
Yeah. So then it says, as he was walking towards the squad car, Anthony was emotional, reportedly saying unprompted, "He put his hands on me. I told him not to." According to the arrest report, went to the backseat. He also reported asked Metcalf was going to be okay. According to the report, it says Anthony made another spontaneous statement and reportedly asked an officer if what happened could be considered self-defense. According to the arrest report, another officer reported that the suspect was crying hysterically while being walked away from the stadium. Anthony is being held at Collins County Jail at $1 million bond. Right now, I want to fast forward to the step to what?
Hold on. Before you fast forward, I gotta call something out on this man's behalf too. It's that article right there changes. It drifts the story a little bit, man. It's because now it sounds like the YN was just did he lose the race? Because now it gives some context to why they was like get from up under this tent, even though because it's raining, you should have a heart. You should be hard. But now I say this to say that because this the righteous fear. Now the fact that the nigga got the knife on him, it's just nasty. This messy work.
Right.
This teenage shit right here, this teenage ego shit right here, and it ain't really got nothing to do with color. This got shit to do with athleticism. This is the Tanya Hardin, Nancy Kerrigan all over again.
White people stabbing each other, right? They didn't have to be on some nigga shit to stab each other, right?
Facts, right. You ain't got to be on no nigga shit to try to take somebody out who you competing with, boy. Come on, man. Let's stop it.
Yo. Facts. Hey, you know what's so crazy too? What I just find is ironic is the fact that that's the one component that people are not looking into. They're not looking into the fact that, let's just be real. If let's just say, for example, why did he even have to be the enforcer of this tent? And another thing is we know damn well he has some. We know as men, we gotta watch how we talk to each other as men, because we know that, we all know that, when we say the wrong thing to somebody, it's gonna end up being fisticuffs, and it could end up with someone getting seriously injured if not deleted, right? So we tend to watch what we say. But guess what? Obviously, Metcalf didn't care about, he didn't care about how he was gonna say, and he don't care about how he felt. At this point, he was just like, this is my school. You're under my tent. I'm the star. I don't know if he was a quarterback, but I'm the star football player. I'm the captain. I don't know who the fuck he was, but he thought he was gonna punk this other dude. And look at that Metcalf guy. He's a pretty big guy, and the other dude was just there for track. He probably don't even play he probably don't even play football. He probably just one of those fast cats. He's just fast on his feet. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all know football players do track on their, on the off season, but there's some people who only run track.
Another thing that they're omitting too is, now let's play the devil's advocate, because had this been black on black crime, they would have been pulling up the dead kid's criminal history. They'd have been pulling up the dead guy's criminal history to see if he was a criminal, and we would have knew everybody, all his arrests, every single time if he got a brush with the law, we would have knew that. So they'd have tried to paint him out as, So we need that. We need what's the brother name? What's the dude name? We need his history to make sure he not a troublemaker. Metcalf, because Metcalf sound like he might be a little troublemaker there too. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
And what's crazy is content creators want to bring up that he was in pictures with guns and fake money, but Metcalf was in with pictures with guns and shit too. Like, does that mean that the ninja life, affected him too?
If it does not happen in the hood, that is not our business, boy. Like, please stop bringing y'all business to our hood. Like, we got enough shit underneath our hood. We don't want that one. Leave that out of here. That's not our shit, yo.
Facts. A man supporting men, aka MPI, says, I took a knife to high school before. Someone bullied me one day. The next day I had a weapon just in case they mess with me again. See, we want to talk about, here's another thing too. I kind of feel like the reason why a lot of people kind of quick to basically say he's wrong is because he did something which is frowned upon, which is bringing a weapon to school, right? Because let's just be real. Here's the thing, I understand where I can see some people are just saying he's just outright wrong because you don't really want kids to bring weapons to school because guess what? If everybody start bringing weapons to school, then what's going to happen? What's going to happen one day if let's just say somebody is not threatened for their life and they decide just to stab somebody because they decide.
But hold on, Cali West. This is a tricky situation because this is where the school be trying to play themselves. Because this is not on school grounds. This is at the track, bro. So this is not school. Like, he didn't bring no gun in school. Or, I mean, he didn't bring a knife in school. Bro, he protected himself. This track, that's the track. Like, you know what I mean? What I'm saying? How do we know that that's not even on a school day? This could have been on a Saturday or a Sunday at the track, and they had a competition and a meet. That ain't got shit to do with school.
Okay, all right, okay. I'll say this much because see, there's so much stuff about this case that I don't really know. But I'll say this just play devil's advocate for a second. See, people are getting caught up with the fact that there's a knife that he shouldn't have brought to school and it happened on school grounds. But guess what? If it happened out of school grounds, if someone was to go tell some white guy or tell some white guy that he got to move from somewhere, right? And they would have put his hands on him. He said, "Don't touch me again," or else. And that dude pushes him again, and he would have just stabbed him, right? I truly believe that this wouldn't even be on the news right now. But because it was at school, let's just here's the thing. Yeah, maybe we don't want kids to be bringing weapons to school, but guess what? The only thing that makes this almost kind of wrong is the fact that he was in school. Because guess what? These motherfuckers wouldn't do that shit in public. He did that shit because he felt like he had home court advantage. He home at his school, and he had his twin brother and his boys behind him. And guess what? Because he was talking shit to him, and looked like. And here's the thing: the media, another thing the media is saying too, is that he just stabbed him. When there's more to that than good bread. Can I show you something good bread real quick, which is very important about what they were saying in this case? This is very important because in this article that people are not talking about. It's crazy. Look, it shows. Okay. Where is it at? Boom. Look, it says listen to this. The stabbing occurred under Memorial High School tent in the stadium bleachers at approximately 10 a.m. on Wednesday, according to the arrest report. Wait a minute. Where was this at? Hold on, let's see. Now I don't want to know where this is at. Oh, it happened at the Frisco Independent School District Stadium. So I guess he wasn't in class. It was
exactly. He did not go past. He did not cross the school building lines with a weapon. You got to protect yourself outside of school. Now, if you in school, there's no need to have a weapon in school. But when you out school, bro, that's where kids get robbed, kids get got, but kids get bullied. Okay. So he wasn't in school. That's what I was saying. I'm like, because I know how that should be. Because I used to be on, you know what I mean? I be on these sports teams and shit like that. And bro, we got to go home by ourselves. Like it's no teachers, it's the coach. You know what I mean? And he go one way, and then you on your own. You outside. You ain't in no goddamn school.
But yo,
you surrounded by all these aggressive ass white people, white boys and shit. You know what I mean? And ain't no teachers there to save you. So why they keep mentioning school, trying to put that school narrative on it when it's really not school, bro? We outside.
I mean, there's a lot of things that we could kind of pick apart with that. But with that being said, I want to kind of point out some important point, right? Check this out. It says responders to the it says responding officers say they spoke to multiple witnesses, including one who reported that the altercation began after Metcalf told Anthony to move out from under the team's tenant's tent. It says according to the arrest report. It says the witness reported that Anthony allegedly reached inside his bag and said, "Touch me and see what happens." According to the witness, Metcalf grabbed Anthony to move him, and Anthony allegedly pulled out what witnesses described as a black knife and stabbed Austin once in the chest, and then ran away. And it says an officer recovered a bloody knife in the bleachers. It says Metcalf was transferred to the area where he was pronounced deceased, right? So repeat this. But listen to this. His twin brother, Hunter Metcalf, was also at the meet and spoke to officers that had seen him. Listen to this. He said that after his brother told Anthony he had to leave the tent because he didn't go to memorial, the two went back and forth, and then Anthony stood up and pushed the male to get off the tent, according to the arrest report. Yo, man.
And that's exactly what happened. They ain't grabbed no book bag. They watered that bullshit down. Talk about they grabbed his book bag. He pushed that boy, yo. He pushed him, and that's what he get, B. I ain't even gonna hold you, yo. It's cold as ice.
What is that? What the fuck is that?
But this is something that people are not talking about. Like, dude, that's important. So he shoved him and grabbed him, and look, this is even from witnesses. So guess what? That is
bro, and he big, bro. This is not a little dude. I bet you he's bigger than the kid that's running track, bro.
I think a lot of people are getting caught up with the fact that this happened to the school. Fuck school, man. School is an extension of real life. School gets you either ready for jail or for work, right?
Right.
And guess what? And if you do something stupid to somebody in the public, they liable to fuck you up. Here's the thing. The truth is, if this was a white boy who did it to another white boy, he would be off. He wouldn't even be having $1 million bond. He would at least have own. He'll probably get bailed out on his own recognizance because he's under 18 or some shit like that. They're just throwing a book at him because they know if they was to give him self-defense, the community would be asking for the sheriff to fucking resign. Let's just keep it a fucking buck. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just keep it a buck. This dude was defending himself. I mean, yeah, and let's just be real good, Brad. Yo, man, we already know, man. Look, once you put your hands on somebody, anything could motherfucking happen. That's why they tell you to keep your hands to your fucking self.
That's a fact, bro. Look at the Petty. Look at the, what's his name? William Petty, the dude that choked out the fake Michael Jackson. The white dude that choked out the black dude on the train.
They said that he was self-defense, and guess what? He didn't even touch anybody, right? If I'm not mistaken, I think the bum was acting crazy. Look,
yeah, he was
acting crazy.
He was intimidating people. He was intimidating passengers, and he had one lady scared.
But he didn't. If I'm not mistaken, he didn't actually touch anyone.
He didn't touch nobody though.
He didn't touch anyone, right? But guess what? So Anthony Metcalf could shove this dude, touch him, and then when dude went into his bag and said, "Yo, man, you better not touch me again." And guess what? He brought that on to himself. And like I said, I don't know if Karmelo Anthony should get no time, but I don't think it's first degree murder. It might be involuntary manslaughter, maybe.
Yeah.
If not, if even defense, I would even say that it's even a possibility that it was a self-defense outright, because if this would have happened on the street, here's the thing, people are getting caught up with the fact that this is a school. I don't give a fuck if it was in a school. The bottom line is that, man, if this would have happened on the street, he would have been, if it would have been on the street, they probably wouldn't have made, it wouldn't be as much of a big deal, because guess what? Why are you fucking around putting your hands on people? We know, here's the thing, if you put your hands on a law enforcement officer, that officer he could use force on you if you put your hands on him. Like, you can't even touch a cop on the shoulder.
I know you can't even touch a train conductor.
Right. Oh, hell yeah. And dude, a matter of fact, sometimes some cops don't even shake your hand. And not because not because they don't like you, but sometimes I don't know if you noticed that. Some cops don't even shake people's hands.
No, they don't.
Because they don't want to end the liability. Just like, hey, they'll be cordial, but they don't technically like people touching, them. So with that being said, it's just like, it was just kind of crazy is that if he would have put his hands on a police officer, like, look, here's the thing. What's crazy is if I hate to go to the extreme, right? But if the black dude, this Karmelo Anthony, did the same thing to an off-duty police officer, the off-duty police officer would have went and popped him, and guess what? He would have been within the right because homeboy's putting his hands on him, right? But because he's black, and now he's defending himself. See, the thing is, people think that he just stabbed him. No, you obviously roughed him up. You was talking shit to him. Shit got heated, and he fucking handled his business. I mean, I ain't saying that. I would never tell my son to do that. I believe if I was in that position, it probably wouldn't have escalated that far. I probably would have just walked away or whatever. But we could. If ifs or fists, we'll all be drunk. He decided to stand his ground. And what's crazy is that if this was a Caucasian man, I believe a lot of people would be saying the same thing. Just like Kyle Rittenhouse. Kyle Rittenhouse could have just kept on running. He didn't have to shoot on dudes with an AK-40 with his M16. But guess what? He felt like his life was in danger. People was throwing bottles at him. And guess what? He shot up 2 people. And guess what? They thought that he should walk. And he shot up other white people. Ain't that crazy?
Right.
So yeah, man. So like, I mean, am I tripping? Am I seeing it only one way? Am I on some nigga shit or something like that? Am I just holding him? Am I just trying to say this because he's black?
Nah, I think this was the most unbiased dissection and depiction of this topic you gonna get on YouTube today, yo. I swear, cause we ain't leave no stone unturned.
I mean, why not? I mean, and here's the thing, and I would even agree that maybe we need to hear some more information, but just based off the little information that we're hearing now from other news outlets, see, there's a little bit more nuance to the story because everyone's claiming, he just told him to move and he just got buck wild and just stabbed him. No, man, no, there was a build up. There was shit talking. He told him get his punk ass up out of there. You know what I'm saying? You ain't from Memorial. You don't belong here, dude. You better get up out of here, bro. And when it's the guy physical, when he start pushing his hands on him, he's like, man, hey, you know what? Beat this. We all know that people are hot-headed. Look, guess what? What I'm mad about is people are quick to say that what he should do, but people are never they're not even taking consideration what Anthony Metcalf should have done. He should have just not even touched his ass. He should have just let him do this thing. Let him be under the goddamn tent. Call security. Call the cops if you want to. But I kind of believe that Metcalf was being a little Karen like his mama. You feel me? And he felt like he did it not because he had to, but because he could. And guess what? Once you expose yourself to, confrontation, anything can happen. Anything can happen. That's why you got to pick and choose your battles. Unfortunately, he learned with his life. I don't believe he was being a calculated murder. What you think, Good Bread?
No, I don't believe son was being a calculated murder. Son was repaying somebody. He was repaying them brothers back. Because they are troublemakers, and that's what we missing. The only key piece of information that I'm missing now, because I got enough. I already know what time it is, yo. These some white bullies, boy. They thought they was gonna bully the black boy for whatever reason. They done did this shit before. That's why we need to see that boy history. We need to see Metcalf criminal history. Yes, we do. Now, I mean that will crack this whole case wide the fuck open. Even if we can get our hands on his twin brother's criminal history, that will crack this case wide open, bro.
Right. Maybe we need to look, now that he's no longer living, maybe we need to go to his medical files and see about, what other little troubles he had and stuff like that.
Right, because that's the age where they start taking them steroids, boy, and they get that roid rage too. So we're not gonna play dumb.
No, sir. Now, there's another aspect I want to bring up about this, too. I had a debate with a well-known content creator. And I must say, I'm not saying I don't agree with him with a lot of things that this man be saying. But I totally believe that he was just. I just believe that he was just way too overzealous with his take on the situation. Now, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But I do believe that you should be able to stand on your opinion. And if someone challenges it, whether you consider it a challenge or not, or whether you did agree or disagree, you should be able to objectively talk about it, that as two men, respectively. Because, Mr. Goodbread, me and you don't always see eye to eye to every topic, do we?
Not at all, bro. This nigga Cali is a pain in the ass, so.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, not that we don't agree with maybe the majority of things, but I believe that you and I could have a debate and respectively hear each other out.
Yo, we do it all of the times. Soon it's gonna be time for the Sierra versus the Sierra shit. Yo, we always have great live streams and great debates, and be respectful. It'd be funny too. So yeah, it's just about collabing. But a lot of these old content creators are dead brains, bro. They dead brains, and they so stuck in their ways, bro. And they done got the panda bear up in their bones, boy. They done figured it out. You know what I mean? Back in the days, they was real, but now they done got a little taste of that YouTube AdSense money. And they see that these women run the show over here, so they done panda bed out. Boy, these niggas, I don't like none of them, to be honest with you. I don't fuck with none of them. You know what I mean? They all trash to me, man.
Damn. Hey, you know what? Hey, you know what's funny though? And I believe that because you stay busy on YouTube, you know what I'm saying? So you probably have no time to watch no other content creators. And here's another too. I gotta say that I don't have much time to watch content creators, but when I can, I get to try to watch and stuff and hear what people got to say. And I like to hear what other people's point of view too. And just because I don't agree with it doesn't mean I still don't necessarily rock with somebody or anything like that. But I just like to think objectively about things. Now, with that being said, there was a situation where I just totally believe that this content creator was just kind of I just believe that he was just going to I just believe that it's just a little too early in the situation, too early in the game for us to really put a label on what exactly happened. Because I have to be honest, we don't know much about Karmelo Anthony. I mean, I guess on the surface, you'll just hear that as a dude named Karmelo Anthony is not really Karmelo Anthony, right? That's the first thing you probably hear. And you think, oh, well, his name is Karmelo Anthony, so, his parents must be ghetto. Well, his parents' last name is Anthony, and they decided to name his ass Karmelo. So fucking what? You feel me? I mean, you know how many white people are named Elvis who are over the age of 45? Right? Like, so that doesn't mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's neither here nor there. But I believe that people are quick to be very judgmental and stuff. CJ from Facebook comes through. He says, what's up? And then King David says, what's up, Callie, in the chat. Damn, CJ. I think this might be the first time I think you checked in on the actual live. So I appreciate you, G. Yo, this boy CJ, man, he be helping your boy out, man. He be showing me a lot of topics and stuff, a lot of various things that we talk about on this channel. A lot of that feedback be coming from my boy. He be linking me on the Facebook. So I appreciate you for checking in, CJ. Like, you know what I'm saying? I know you be checking out the replay stuff, but I'm good. It's good to have you in here. So I appreciate you. Salute. Ken Davis, he says, what's up, Callie, in the chat. I appreciate you for checking in. Yeah. So back to what I wanted us to say too is that, yeah, man, like, I truly believe that we could agree to disagree, but I just believe at the same time we can still respect each other's opinion. We don't have to agree with each other's opinion, but we can still respect people's opinion. So with that being said, I kind of want to show you this, this video of what happened. This is the discussion that me and this content creator was happening. And you can just tell me what you're going to believe. And if you want me to stop on anything, Mr. Goodbread, and you want to kind of chime in on what you want to say, please feel free to let me know. A matter of fact, I'm probably even going to stop in some of this sometimes kind of say my own critical thinking about this video. Does that sound good, my G? Is it good?
Yep, let's get it, bro.
Okay.
Let's get it.
Right. Thanks, G. He said that was a fire impromptu chat you did last night. I appreciate you, G. Yeah, man. We had a whole lot of fun last night, and I thank y'all for tuning in. I try to do it. I try to make it as entertaining as possible, man. I appreciate y'all boys for tuning in last night. We had a lot of fun. Yeah, it's good, bro. You might even like it. It's not a long show. I think it was 2 hours. It's not very, very, very long, but we was cooking with the hot fish grease. Now, check this out. Here we go.
You have to let due process, carry on. This is how it is.
But again, you're 1,000% right. Anyone that tells you jumped, I think Hotep Jesus told you kind of jumped the gun on talking about it.
Yeah.
For a second, I felt that way. But when you looked at the facts of the case, there's no justification.
Yo, that's crazy. Hold up. So, Hotep Jesus, you know who Hotep Jesus is on Good Bread?
I don't know none of them, boy.
Okay, Hotep Jesus. I actually like Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus, he is a conservative black dude. He got like dreadlocks and stuff like that. But, don't let, we can't let stereotypes trick us. Just because he has dreadlocks and stuff and he looks like he's like a hood dude. The dude is a very conservative dude and he's very intelligent. And
Tell me about it, bro. I'm not quick to stereotype. Tell me about it. These niggas think I'm Pookie until I break down their whole mental makeup.
Hey, no doubt. No doubt. See, exactly. They just think just because you just like, you're still young, that you're young-minded, but it's a little bit more than just your dress. It's not like we don't have a couple suits in our closet, you know what I'm saying? But hey, we just this is our job. We gotta have our uniform, just like how we got our uniform, just like how they got their uniform at McDonald's, we gotta have our uniform at our job, right?
That's a fact, bro. That's a fact.
Right. But Hotep Jesus, the reason why I bring up Hotep Jesus is because Hotep Jesus, he's down with Donovan Sharp and stuff, and Hotep Jesus probably agrees with a lot of things that Donovan Sharp would. And I could honestly say that I agree with a lot of things that Donovan Sharp says. But I feel like this case right here, this is probably where, we could kind of agree to disagree because, even Hotep Jesus says that he feels like he jumped the gun in discussion because there's too much little information that we really know. But then this bro is saying that there's so much information that is not justifiable. But I don't know. It's like it's justifiable, but Kyle Metcalf, Kyle Rittenhouse, that was justifiable. Trayvon Martin getting smoked by that one dude. I forgot his name. What was that dude who shot Trayvon Martin? You don't know his name? What's that dude's name?
Nah, I think you're talking about Zimmerman.
Yeah, right. Mark Zimmerman.
George Zimmerman.
George Zimmerman. But guess what? There's some people, not many black people, but there's some people on the left, or not even so much even the left. Trust me, there's probably some people on the right as well. Or I'm sorry. The right, who believe that it was justifiable. And it's like, okay, so that was justifiable, but when a black man protects himself, against another white man, when they're ganging up on him and then being physical with him, now it's not self-defense. Now it's justifiable that he's a murderer. Okay. What do you think about that?
Man, that's crazy. That's semantics for you, boy. That's semantics for you.
Very much. Let me play this video because I'm about to get on right here.
I'm sorry. There's no justification to justify it. And again, I don't want to be long-winded. Again, I thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely, man.
I hope someday you let me come on again. And I just wanted to make that kind of delineator that we don't all have a genetic warrior gene and we're not all savage monkeys that want to kill people. That's all.
Thanks for clearing that up for us. I appreciate that. My man Trey Ball in the house, man. Listen, and I've seen Trey Ball I've seen Trey ball in here on numerous occasions. All right, let's bring up Cali West. Cali West, what's going on, brother? It's been a while.
Yo, salute, Donovan Sharp. What's going on, man?
Doing good, man. Doing good. You still down there in Miami?
I am. I'm actually in Broward County. I had to kind of make my little rounds and stuff.
Okay.
And I had a couple things. I'm actually at the Harbor Freight. Not trying to give them any advertisement, but I have a couple things I need to pick up. And I was just listening to your show, and I just listened to your show, and I got caught up. And plus it's raining, so I figured I would just chime in a little bit.
All right,
well,
what
I wanted to say in regard to this whole situation is, I feel, I mean, yes, we could say, Black culture does have an influence. Well, I wouldn't say Black culture because unfortunately, Black people don't really have a culture, or the culture that they're sticking to is not something that's really redeemable. And when I say Black people, I'm not talking about Black people on a whole.
Okay.
I'm talking about, ninjas. You feel me?
Niggas.
And all right, if that's what I mean, that's one way to say it, right? Right.
So that's one thing. Good, bro. You know me. I could cuss up a storm, but one thing I try to stay away from is the word ninja. You feel me? I try to stay away from the N word. You feel me? Because I'm not saying that there are no niggas and stuff like that, but I do believe that if we just we expect certain greatness from Black people, one thing we need to do is stop calling each other nigga. What you think about that?
I think that's real, and I'm growing out of my habit of using that word to communicate myself. And you stronger than me when it comes to that. But I'm gonna get there. But I 100% get it, and I respect it, and it's right.
You know what it started with? Practice. It just started from just get myself from just not saying it as much. Like even if you just say ninja, because anyone could be a ninja. You feel me? Like
I what I've been doing now, I've been weaning out the B word and the N word by just calling them what it is, the dummy. I just call everybody a dummy. I'm giving out dummies all day now.
Right. Hey, because I do believe words mean things, right? I do believe words mean things. And I do believe, you could be a white nigga or whatever, but you don't have to say nigga. I mean, there's so many ways you could use to describe somebody, but I just say ninja as a play with words just because, just because it's a joke. But the truth is that, we could just have, Black people, and then we just have people who are just trash. You know what I'm saying? Like, dropping a whole N word. I don't know. I just kind of feel like that's not necessary.
Right. And nowadays it's just like fashion, like it's like a trend. It's just trendy. Like, I mean, everybody, even I see two Arabs, two East Indians calling each other my nigga.
Right. And here's the other thing too. If a white person want to call another white person a ninja, go ahead. But I don't even like when Black people even call me a nigga. You feel me? So it's just like, I guess it all depends on what you're comfortable with. Just know that, words mean things, and you say the wrong words to somebody, they might take it the wrong way. Kind of like this little situation with this dude at the track meet, because we don't know what he said. I'm not saying that he said the N word, but like, the fact that he even used violence. Another thing is, we not need to start taking away from what he not to say just said, but the fact that he was violent against the other dude, that's why he got stabbed. I mean, whether you want to rationalize it or not, if you put your hands on somebody, you liable to get fucked up. Unfortunately, here's the thing about reactions. You can only control your action, but you cannot be mad when you get an opposite or equal or more or greater reaction.
Right.
Now, let's go back to this video and hear what me and this gentleman got to say to each other. Check this out.
But what I wanted to actually say too is, I think maybe it's a little too early to maybe assume. And yes, you could definitely say that this Karmelo Anthony guy, he definitely did something wrong, but there is a caveat to it, right?
Okay.
If someone comes up to you, right? Because he didn't come up to the guy mano a mano. He was there with his brother and like some other athletes or other guys who were there at the track meet. and they're backing him up, and it said for him to move, right? He said, okay, well, make me. At this point, once he took his bag, right? I guess the right thing would have Carmelo Anthony to do would have been to just get his bag back, right? But then we know that would end up in a fight, right?
Sure.
And maybe just maybe, I'm just playing devil's advocate for a moment.
No, I got you.
Maybe just maybe, if Carmelo, like, come on now, Jonathan Sharp, you're a tough guy. You've been in the trenches before. You know how sometimes, not necessarily like, in a bar or situation, you can end up getting your teeth knocked out.
Yeah.
Maybe it didn't go.
Good, Brad. What do you think about what I just said right there?
You on point. You ain't saying nothing wrong. I see where you setting him up, but he gonna dodge it. He's gonna jump over it.
I wanted to get his ass whooped, and maybe he got a little, I would say, a little knife happy. And I think he only hit him one. I think he only stabbed him one time. Like, that's the thing about a knife. A lot of people take knives for granted, but all you need to do is hit someone with a knife one good time, and it's almost certain death, right?
See, we need to talk about that, because if he really wanted to delete this guy, he could have just kept on stabbing him and kept on hitting him. But he didn't keep on hitting him. He hit him one time as a defensive move and ran away.
That's a fact. And that's how God worked. God worked in equal and exact ways. So that is something spooky about this. That right there, it was time for that boy to go. He wasn't going to terrorize nothing else no more. It was his turn. B. What's the odds of that? Like, one poke. And I mean, they talking like if it's a pocket knife. Like if you put it to your fingers, it ain't but, you know what I mean? So, like, god damn, they don't make these young niggas like they used to anymore, boy. They fall, hit their head, and die now. Like, damn, we used to fall off the bed all the time.
Well, all right. Well, okay. I'll just say this much. Unfortunately, you cannot. Here's the thing: when you do something to somebody, you cannot always control the outcome of what's going to happen. If you decide to go bust somebody up the head, and they decide to pick up a rock and bust you up in the head back, yes, we could be in court and arguing whether you should not have picked up a rock or not. But guess what? At that time, at the present and past time, you cannot control how he handled and reacted himself. Maybe you should have let him be under the tent, because we need to understand why he felt that he had to protect this dude from being under the tent, and why he had to physically remove him like he was security. We need to explain that. That sounds like a bully to me. Sounds like a bully.
Yeah. So I think that he definitely overreacted, but there's a little more of a little bit of a nuance. I don't think it's because he's listening to I don't know, NBA YoungBoy, so he wanted to stab somebody. I mean, if anything, some people could argue that, thugs or hood niggas' choice of weapon is a firearm, not a knife. So maybe that's almost some white boy shit, because if you look in the pictures, he hangs out with white kids. I mean, yes, he might have 2 black parents, but he lives in a predominantly white community.
So that's another thing we need to talk about. We have nothing that shows that Carmelo Anthony was affiliated with any hood ninjas, idolized hood ninjas. The dude is at a track meet at a mostly predominantly white school, man. Y'all need to show me that he came from Compton High, Crenshaw High, or something, a little bit more. Oh shit, we must have lost good bread. Ah shit, we lost good bread. Hopefully he'll come back on. But at the end of the day, dude, there's more to this situation. If dude was putting his hands on him and pushed him already and trying to push him out of somewhere, he has a right. Look, hey, at this time, he has a right to defend himself. Now, maybe should he have stabbed him? That could be argued. But guess what? Maybe he didn't want to get his teeth knocked out. Good bread is back. What's up, G?
Yeah, I almost had to catch my battery. My joint is dying.
Oh, I understand. But did you hear the part where I played, where basically I'm basically brought up the fact that this dude lives in the white community. What do you feel about that?
Right, like I said, this is not our community. This did not happen in our community, so we should not even be taking this on the chin. This is not our community, yo. I mean, that's like if something happened in Afghanistan, we sitting over there talking about like, you know what I mean? That's not our business. Like we gotta mind our business. And this is what I mean about fixing our front door first, sweeping our front door first before we go worrying about anybody else. We gotta fix our stuff, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. Who we got in the chat, yo? Can't, but we got to learn that words should roll off our back as long as a person doesn't touch you. That is a fact too, but that come with discipline and self-control. A lot of people like that. A lot of people like those two things. We not taught those things from a young age. We not taught how to be disciplined.
Right. So with that being said, Ken Davis and Goodbread, if we got to learn that words should roll off our back, shouldn't that been Anthony Metcalf's sentiment was to just let this dude sit where he got to sit? Because it's not the fact that the dude didn't stab him because of what he said. The dude stabbed him for what he did, which was get physical with his ass and putting his hands on another man.
Right.
It's just kind of crazy just how people they pick and choose who could put their hands on and who they want to blame something on. And I just believe that, unfortunately, here's the thing. If we were to go and talk about Chicago, we were to talk about Los Angeles, or we were to talk about certain parts of Memphis, Tennessee, there's no way that I could argue that the black community doesn't need a reforming and needs a lot of is in dire restraints. I'm not saying that the culture is not. I'm not saying that the rap culture is not toxic, but this rap culture and black culture has nothing to do with this situation. This could have been easily a white man who just stabbed another white man, and guess what? It wouldn't be getting no news coverage, but because it's a black man who stabbed a white man, that's why it's getting this news coverage. People are getting fooled by the wrong thing.
Yo, Caddy West, you're 100% right. And this is why I really don't like getting in race conversations with people, especially ignorant black folks, because we forget that we only 13% of the population, my brother. And you're a fool if you think these millionaire rappers is only getting million dollars off of ourselves. You do not understand that the white folks and the other races of people listen to the culture more than a little bit. They the ones that invest in our culture. They push the culture forward. See, we always looking for the freebie now. I'm gonna be a little honest now. We're gonna cut a little deep now. We always looking for the freebie. And this is why the people we like, the black leaders and the black companies that we like, it go to shit because inside the company, we cheer and we applaud and we like and we love and black this and black that. And outside the company, though, niggas ain't supporting it. Niggas is talking shit about it. Niggas is trying to pull it down. So we gotta stop that, yo. We gotta stop that ASAP. The shit is not a good look, and it's exposed now. Like, but yeah, we gotta if we say we like something, then and we see and we notice the truth in it, then we got to promote it. We got to really go hard. We gotta go hard for it, just as hard as we go for the fake stuff. You know what I mean, guys? Because that's how the black people gonna be in position with each other. That's what we mean by team up and work together to move the needle. You know what I mean? But
no, I totally agree with you. And I do believe that black people should hold black people accountable. But what happens when it's a black man holding a white person accountable? What happens when that happens? Like this situation here, not everybody don't know. Not everybody wants to stand on the fact that he was on stool grounds and blah 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 blah. Like, dude, I hear black content creators talk about but he shouldn't have had a knife. Okay, we all understand that he shouldn't have had a knife, But guess what? Should other dude been putting his hands on him? Like, dude, you put your hands on anybody else, that's assault. You could go, that's a felony. You can't just be putting hands on people.
Yo, I told you, I see you had dropped off when I had went into that spill about we're in a mother raised society, bro. We're in a mother raised society, and all that means is that everybody think that they under the woman. So everybody is geared and trained, and I'm gonna tie it in now. What that means for the content creation. People gonna be creating content that avoids the accountability on these hell of a parents, yo. Listen, these mothers bring these little boys, these type of boys into this situation. But remember, the mothers pick who get the fish hole. And then mothers also pick which little child come into this world.
Right.
So if the YNs are making decisions like this, then why are we not addressing the producers of the YNs making decisions like this? Like, why do we let the mothers walk around here and then when the kid is 17 years old making decisions like this, she goes say, I didn't raise him like that. He make his own decisions, but the stuff that was instilled in him at 5 is the things that he gonna go and revert back to. So all that anger, all that animosity that he saw you know what I mean, or whoever raised them, because I told you before, Callie, these single mothers is raising better products than these wives, these masculine wives that got the simp husbands in the household with them. They're raising products like this young man right here.
Which one?
The one that did the stabbing, because that was still emotional. That was still some emotional ass shit right there.
Oh, right.
And,
well, all right, hold up. We could agree. Look, all right, we could agree that it was emotional, right? Because, like I said, I even said in the beginning that I don't really feel that he should have necessarily did that, right? But guess what? Most violence is emotional. Most crimes are crimes of passion. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but here's the thing: he's not a single mother. Like, he's not a single mother raised kid. He's raised by his father. Matter of fact, his father has been the one who's been vocal, and he's the one who's been having his son's back.
now his mom's is dominant though. His mom's was the one that was popping shit too in that other article, which lets me know he got a masculine mother and he got a pops that think he tough. That's a simp.
So
That's
let me ask you a question.
Dynamics to that.
So can I ask you a question too? Those dudes who remember the Columbine shooting in the 90s?
Yep.
Let me ask a question. We could apply that same sentiment to those kids, right?
Same sentiment. It's ill manner. They're not being raised right. These kids are not being raised right. These kids are being born. Their moms and their dad is enjoying that nut. They fucking, they sucking, and they bringing kids into this world and leaving these kids to raise themselves, boy. They leaving these kids to go get their own information, learn from their own experience that they don't even have. Like, bro, and that's what's fucking it up.
Hey, that could be debated.
It is, but think about it, right? Even in the white community, parents are bringing white kids into the world, right? And these white kids are adapting the culture, the black culture. You know what I mean? And this is why, and even in the white community, because remember, it's sections to the white community, because you got the trailer park community.
Right.
You know what I mean? And a lot of the times when we have these conversations, we're not talking about the Hollywood white community. We don't compare ourselves to the upper echelon. We like to compare ourselves to the trash, and that should be killing me. Like, we don't be comparing ourselves to the Hollywood on white people. We compare ourselves. We compare ourselves to the sardines eating white folks.
See, I'm glad that you mentioned that, because that was kind of my argument. My argument is that, you know, I don't feel like him being raised by black people, or him having a black gene has to do with this situation. I truly believe that he's a dude who's armed, just like any other dude who stabbed somebody at a school. Because guess what? If you look it up, it has happened plenty of times. It is not televised. The reason why, repeat this, if you try to look it up, you probably have a hard time because this story is going to populate everything. But guess what? If you keep on digging, you'll hear about other stories of white kids stabbing people at schools. Like the statistics show that people who usually do the most crime on each other is the people from the same race.
Yo,
well,
and since when did we forget who started the Caliban? Like that wasn't a that like come on, they started that. They started it.
Right. Now that's outright acts of violence. And here's the thing. And with that being said, what just kind of crazy is that, you know what? Let's read these comments because there's a lot of comments that I think we need to read. Ken Davis says Satan comes in many forms, redirecting us from the protection of God. We are under the purpose of God for us. Satan comes through the tongues and actions of women and people that don't look like us. Right. But then it comes from the tongues of people who look like us as well. That's the caveat. I'm not here to really.
I'm about to say that. Like, wait, Satan ain't exclusive to no one race. Satan all over the world. That's why this act right here is not exclusive to the black community, because the devil is not just in the black community, bro. The devil is global. The devil could walk through this motherfucker just like God. So it's not exclusive. This was evil. You know what I mean? This was evil in every aspect. Like, understand, in every character, the Metcalf dude, he got shades of evil. The dude that did the stabbing, he showed shades of evil. So this got evil written over it. It got no good, no God in this whole situation.
Well, okay, no, keep on going. No, keep on cooking, bro.
So I don't think it's exclusive. I don't think we can put this to the black community. We got to stop putting random acts of violence and sticking it to communities. Yes, we have those stereotypes, which stereotypes are true. Those are behavioral patterns. Those are studied behavioral patterns from each different demographic that we have in America. All right? We know that's true. If I tell you that a teacher got locked up for touching a little boy, you know what color she is. You know what I mean? If I tell you that a woman, she got locked up for abusing her kid, she beat her kid, you know, 9 times out of 10, that's probably a sister, yo.
Right.
Probably a sister.
See, right. See, and that's one of the things I was bringing up on this show was the fact that there's a lot of nuance in this situation because guess what? There's not a black dude killing another black dude in the hood, so we can't use the hood as an excuse. This is a dude who was basically raised in a white neighborhood. You know, we could argue that, oh, maybe he was on some nigga shit at home, but we can't see that so far. So far, I've heard only good things about him, about the young man. Now, Sky Daddy 4444 says, "Mama's love equals hate is the real issue in the community." Facts. Then he says, Ken Davis says, "White people feel privileged. We can't hold them accountable. They always try to test us." That is definitely that's definitely something that is definitely true and definitely not plausible, especially in this situation. Sky Daddy 444 says, "Get rid of welfare and Section 8 and problem solved." Facts. And then Sky Daddy 444 says, "Probably a step dummy." I don't know. That's a good question, but I don't think so. I think that's actually his real dad. I think that's really his real pops. I don't know, and then Sky Daddy 444 says he said the guest is cooking. Oh, he said the guest is cooking with hot grease. Okay. No doubt. Like I said, I'm looking at this a little bit. Right. No doubt. And I'm looking at this a little bit introspectively because I feel that at the same time, if we're gonna go and say that he was just doing some shit because he was black or just because the hood is up in him without any proof, that means that we are basically giving credence to everyone who stereotypes us every time we're in a white neighborhood. And at the same time, I do believe that's not really fair to everybody because I do believe that, okay, fine. Maybe if you like walking around with a hoodie on top of your head and you got a ski mask on, you're probably up to no good. But it's not cool when you have on the shirt, you have on your work shirt and stuff like that, and people are still acting crazy to you, like you're not supposed to be in a building, but it's your building, right? You know, so I mean, we got. I just kind of feel like we have to learn how to kind of separate certain issues.
Yeah, the crazy thing to me, right, when it comes to this race joint, being that I'm in New York, yo, and I don't know how many people in the chat is from New York, from the city, but I'll be in like I'm still trying to find the white community in New York City. I mean, I know there's downtown where the Jews be at. You know what I mean? Where that's like our Diamond District. You know, the shopping center. You know, 42nd Street, Times Square. It ain't residential though. It's not residential at all. So like, I'm still. I know where the Asian
I think
community is.
Bensonhurst is a big Hebrew neighborhood.
Where you said?
I think it was the Bensonhurst. I think is that Bensonhurst?
Yeah, see now that's the thing. Now if we gonna go Jews, like I know where the Jewish communities are, but it's not a lot of white people in there, or unless we're gonna separate the Jewish people from a white person, because every white person not a Jewish person.
Right, but guess what?
And then we know that the
not all
enemy.
white people who live in Bensonhurst are necessarily Jewish either.
That's that's what I'm saying. So I know in New York we have a Jewish community and we have an Asian community.
Right.
Everything else is mixed in a melting pot. Like we have white people in the black community. My man Fisherman's son. I grew up with everyone. When you from the hood, when you from the real hood, you have two white friends, boy, that lived in that hood with you. So like,
Right.
where is the white community at? Where the fuck is the white community?
Well, all right. With that being said, this dude is in Texas, where there is a very large white community. As a matter of fact, he lives in a white community.
All right.
His parents his parents saved up a lot of money. They have enough money to move him into a good neighborhood. Yeah, they might have named his ass ghetto ass Karmelo Anthony. But
so then look right there. That's his neighborhood. That's not even our neighborhood. Like, why are we sticking him in our neighborhood when he's not even from our neighborhood? He's from their hood. That's them. That's them folks' business.
Right.
Kelly?
Right. A matter of fact, hold up. We got a $5 super chat. SkyDaddy444 says the guest is cooking with hot fish grease. Stop producing these masculine womb donors and come your mom's spirit. Seek first. Okay, right. No doubt. A matter of fact, I appreciate the super chat. Now, what else we got? SkyDaddy then adds, if it walk like a duck, quack like a duck, it's probably a ninja on BS. Stereotypes are there for a reason. Civil rights was the worst thing that ever happened to so-called black people. PS. We brown. I had to be honest with you, man. I got to push back on that a little bit. I would definitely have to kind of push back on that. Only because of the fact that, so every time a black person does something wrong, it has to do with the culture. So let me ask you a question. So when a white person stabs somebody else, I mean, I guess we could blame that on his culture, right? But here's the flip side to it. And this is my debate tonight, too. What happens when it's a black kid who just lives in a white neighborhood? He lives in a white neighborhood. As far as I know, I don't see any tattoos on this dude. Here's nothing to. You could go into suburban communities. White people have dreads. So we can't just say that because he got dreadlocks that he's a hood ninja. And just because his name is Karmelo. If his last name is already Anthony and they named him Karmelo, so what? There's a lot of people whose last name is, there's a lot of people white kids who are named Larry because their parents was a Celtics fan. So, let's just be real. With that being said, this is my opinion. I could be wrong. Maybe we're gonna look back at this video and say, "Oh, Conrad, Callie was wrong about this." But I really believe that when the facts come out about this situation, about how he's not really like a regular, he's not a hood ninja. He's like basically an Oreo. It's gonna have to give a little bit more insight, because I believe that people are just quick to. I believe because you said stereotypes happen for a reason, but not all stereotypes are right. Just because you're black doesn't mean that you're gonna go and do the same thing, though. See, that would be me incorrectly stereotyping you, Sky Daddy. Now he says per capita, we off the charts. That's actually true. And here's the thing, though. That's true in most metropolitan areas. Like, for example, Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis, Tennessee is practically black, right? Memphis, Tennessee, Chicago, Philadelphia, right? I get that. Look, and I would not be the one to disagree with you with that. But do you not think that there's not a high murder rate in white communities too? Trust me. We're only 13% of the population. There's no way that 13% of the population is causing all the havoc. Some of that havoc has to be caused by white trash.
Exactly. At least 33% of white people are committing crimes. So, with that said, if we're only 13%, do the math. Do the math. We're only 13%, guys. No matter how you want to slice it, no matter how you want to slice it, man. And this I test this to when it say dating outside your race, we got a 33% chance to finding a better, a calm, submissive female, a different type of female than we do because we are the minority, guys. That's why we are called the minority because we only 13% of the population. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing. This is how I feel about the situation, and I hate to bring up my feelings, or just what I believe. There's so much nuance to this situation. One, we don't know what exactly transpired. What was they arguing about under the tent? And my whole thing, I'm just a little just bothered by, is that people just quick to just say, "Oh, he's just doing this shit because he on some ninja shit." So that means that every black dude, every black person who comes into the hood and his parents moved in here to have a better life, that basically means that he needs to get an ankle monitor and be managed and watched all the time. Is that where we're gonna go? Is that the argument where we're going here? Or can we at least admit that, this dude would start getting physical with his ass, and guess what? He knew he was probably gonna get his ass whooped by this star football player, this dude who was bigger than him. And guess what? He overreacted in the moment, and he picked up a weapon. He said, "Hey, you better not touch me again," because guess what? He knew that he wasn't gonna, he probably knew he was gonna get beat up. He probably knew he was gonna get jumped. I mean, we know that people do some stupid shit, especially when they're young and dumb. And I believe that they're both doing some young and dumb shit. Unfortunately, somebody ended up being on the other end and not breathing anymore. Should I say that? Should Karmelo Anthony not go to jail at all or not get in any trouble? I don't know, but I just kind of feel like it's too early to just quick to judge and to say, "Oh man, you know what? He's wrong. Throw him in the slammer for the rest of his life."
Yo, I'm gonna have to wrap it up in a minute, but
yeah, no doubt.
In conclusion,
gotta wrap it up now.
Well, yeah, I'll give my last thoughts right now on this shit right here. But this was a good one though, Callie, right here. Honestly, I don't know how. Well, I know how I slipped, how I missed this one. I was over there messing with Vlad and Booker T and shit. But in any event, this is clear, man. It's like I don't want to come off like a know-it-all, but when you be around people and you study human behavior, bro, then white people had it coming, bro. This I told you, we used an example that was crispy, clear, and spot on. That boating incident, that was this without the camera.
Without the camera.
I guarantee you. That was this without the camera.
Without the camera. So I mean, and that's the thing. My whole thing is that I'm not even the one who's saying, "Oh, free him." I'm not even gonna go and die in that hill. I'm really not. I'm just kind of just pointing out the fact that I just kind of feel like a lot of people who I'm not expecting, what I'm saying, even like big content creators are already going on a limb and just saying, "Oh, well, he did it because he on some nigga shit. He just did it on some nigga shit." Why couldn't it just be on some white psycho shit and just stab somebody? Like, he could listen to rock music and alternative. We don't know what the fuck this dude listened to.
Facts. And what the hell on some nigga shit got to do with stabbing white folks? Our music don't even talk about stabbing white folks. None of our music promotes. Show me the drill song that the drill rapper saying go stab a white folk. Like, bro, so that's not
stab a
even,
nigga. When was the last time they said stab a nigga or whatever you want to call it? Stab a ninja, stab a nigga, whatever.
Facts. Like, you're not gonna find that. Like, So we gotta stop that. We gotta stop. We gotta stop giving people excuses, and then people turn those excuses into reasons, and an excuse will never be a reason, man. We just gotta fix us, man.
Right,
This shit was
right.
unfortunate, bro. This shit was unfortunate, but again, God see everything, bro. God made that. God, yo, I told you, it's time for that. Time to go. Time to go. When it's your time, boy.
Right.
It's your-
Hey, before you go, can I play this real quick for you?
Yes.
I don't really think this is really necessary. Him being a ninja.
Yeah,
This is
I
him
gotta.
just being just a crazy
No,
guy.
Look,
This happens.
I gotta push back and disagree with you, man, because there are pictures of him all over social media with AK-47s and wads of money.
Right.
He didn't get that from white boy.
Wait.
culture.
What you say? What you say? Wads of money?
Yeah. Like there are pictures of him like with AK-47. I think he had like it was what's the fake money called? It was like fake money. I forget what it's called.
Counterfeit money?
Yeah, yeah, but it's what do they call it? It like money they move for money they use for the movies. I forget what it was called.
Prop money.
That's it. Thank you. Jesus fucking Christ. Hold on.
Okay,
I gotta give myself this.
Right. I'm listening.
Yeah, but I 100% believe that the culture is the culture got into this dude's head because again, I mean, he hung out with white people, or he hangs out with white people. He has white friends and this and that and the third. Yet the nigga came out in him. That didn't just come from nowhere, Callie.
Okay,
that had to come from somewhere. That came from this hip hop nigga culture. Right. If somebody disrespects you, then you need to react violently. And I used to be that person, but you know that's how it goes.
Hey, but Donovan, a lot of people cut people. White people cut people. White people are known to have more.
Are you kidding me with this, Callie West? Are you really coming at me with the white people do it too? Are you serious?
No, I didn't say the white people do it too.
But that's exactly what you just said. You said white people cut. No. Hold on now. You said white people. Hold on. You said white people cut each other too.
Yo, good bread. Do you not see exactly why I brought it to white people? Because this is not black on black crime. See, if it was black on black crime and I said white people do it too, that could be something that I say, aha, well, oh, so what? The white people using the white people do it too. But guess what? I'm using white people do it too because we're talking about a white person who got stabbed by a black person. Do you not see the disconnect, good bread?
Right, I saw the disconnect, and you also was valid on saying white people do it too because this man grew up and lives in a white community. You know what I mean? So you had to remind him, like, bro, he lives in their community. He did that to them in their community, not only his community, their community. So what's the problem?
Facts. Like, why can't it just be, a student just stabbed another student, and it just happened that the student was black and the other dude was white? Because, I'm not saying that necessarily race is even a factor. I'm not even trying to race bait and say, oh, well, the white dude ganged up on him because he was black. I'm not even saying all that. All I'm saying is that we can't go turn around and say, okay, well, he just did that because the nigga in him, the ninja in him, that made him do it because, he was into rapping hip hop, and rapping hip hop was all about destroying people. But guess what? Europeans have been destroying people from the beginning of time, and guess what? Black people have been destroying people too. Let's not act like everyone's innocent here. That's my argument. My argument is we're quick to almost already judge without knowing all the information. Hey, the dude got scared. He pulled out a knife. And here's another too. You know how many times people use weapons and then they wish they didn't use a weapon? Guess what? In that hype in a moment, he just kind of thought that he was going to protect him. He probably just thought he was going to injure. He probably just thought he hit the dude, and he probably thought he was going to be okay. He probably just thought he cut him or something like that. And guess what? It happens just that fast. It happens just that fast.
This is an excellent, you know what it is. This come back to the YouTube and the red pill, the blueprint. This the cheat sheet, y'all. I'm about to hit y'all with the game, boy. Word. This is just this is just a slick way to pander. The dude that was on the screen, I don't know, I'm not familiar with him, but the dude who channel that is, he know the blueprint, bro. And if you want to scare some black women up, talk crazy about a black man. Show them a young YN, and once you get the black woman in fear, you gonna get your views up. You know what I mean? If you go to your channel and you talk about a crazy black man all day, they gonna flock to your channel. Even though these bitches love those type niggas, That's why they gonna flock to your channel. So he just figured out one of the blueprints. You know what I mean? And then you could cater, like when you use that blueprint, you cater to your white audience too. You know what I mean? Because you know your white audience want to see a black man, a crazy black man. So you'll get your white men, you'll get your white women, and then you'll get your black women over there, and you'll get your numbers up. So it's a content strategy. You know what I mean? That's why you would take a topic like this, and you're just half-ass it. You see, they would never do what we did tonight, bro, and turn over every stone. We called Metcalf's flaws. We called the stabber flaws, and we had a conversation where we ain't leave no stone unturned. But I hate when you get one of these big head, no nothing niggas that want to just overtalk you and hit you with the semantics. Like, bro, don't put words in his mouth. You heard
Oh, you
what
peeped
Cali.
that? You peeped that?
Yeah,
He
bro.
said,
Yeah, man. Like I don't like that shit when it's done to me. Like, don't put words in my mouth. I try to slow it down so that I'm clear. Now my grandma might not be all that, but you understand me. Don't put words in my mouth. But that was funny. That was cute though. That was real clever. But again, he's one of the old ones you said, so he got that content strategy thing down to a science, man.
right. And you know what's crazy? And what's crazy is that, I watch him big time. Like, dude, I mean, I'm not gonna say I have any hate for the man. Like, like that, he's part of my red pill journey. Part of my red pill journey is watching him when I was at work and stuff like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I fuck with him, you feel me? But when sometimes, here's the thing, just because you fuck with somebody doesn't mean that you can't disagree with them. And sometimes you just can't ask the right questions. See, his thing. Well, my problem was the fact that, like, okay, here's the thing, you can't say, here's the thing, you can't want to be stereotypical on one end and not be stereotypical on the other, because let's just be real, white people love slasher films. White people love buying knives. Like, trust me, I know white people love buying knives. Like, I lived in white communities. White people like buying knives. They like even buying guns. I can name how many black people I've seen with knives. I probably see more black people with razors, less than knives. So
good point.
Let's not just say that.
Cali West. Good point. Great point. Because they go hunting and stuff like that and camping and shit that we frown up at. That's why we so fat. You know what I mean? You mentioned hiking in the hood and bitches look at you like you crazy, and then they go eat a fucking pork chop sandwich like, dumb, yo.
Like pocket knives, like, most people in the hood ain't walking around with pocket knives. If anything, most dudes are walking around with hood with a strap. You feel me? So I just kind of feel like it doesn't, like, I feel like people just want to give a quick answer to it. And the truth is, I don't think it's any deeper than, I truly believe the only thing that makes it a problem is, let me ask a question. If it was a white cat, will we be trying to look into his history and trying to say, oh, he be listening to rap and all that, or he living to, no, we would have just said, oh, it's just another white person just killed another white person. It would have never made the news. But now I just kind of feel like we're using the I just kind of feel like now we're just like, there's so much things that's going on in the hood that's going on that we can't even really defend, the new culture, with the buy-ins and stuff like that, right? But that has nothing to do with this situation, man. This dude, had a different life than most black people. Look, this dude probably lived a life that most black people don't, living in a community where he don't have to worry about getting drive-bys and stuff. That doesn't mean that he's not still getting bullied by the star quarterback or whoever he is. Shit. As a matter of fact, from what we're listening to now, he put hands on him already. So that doesn't mean anything. I mean, look, like I said, I would not tell my son, I would hope my son would not just go, stab another kid at school. You know what I'm saying? Lord forbid, right? But then the flip side to it is that, people have made these mistakes. What's that dude's name? George Zimmerman, Kyle Rittenhouse. And guess what? People are quick to write off that, oh, it was in self-defense. But he wasn't self-defending himself. I don't know. Look, here's the thing. Like I said, I love to hold the black community accountable. I love to even hold myself accountable. But come on now. Like, I just feel like it's just a little bit too much things that we don't even know about the situation. Because we need to explain that why the homeboy feel like they take upon himself to even put his hands on him over a tent. Make that make sense.
And I'm still tripping over the fact that one of the parents yelled, why not fight him one-on-one? Why not fight him with the hand, fist fight him? Like, why are y'all promoting that? Like, but man, Callie, this was a real one. Salute to the chat. I appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all, man. Word up, man. Love you, Callie. I'll see you around, man.
Thanks for tuning in, G.
All right.
Yo. So yeah, man, I really appreciated my boy Goodbread checking in for tonight, man. Now, Ken Davis said he's sorry to talk about God and Satan, but we must be real. There is a war between good and evil that is bigger than us. Hey, I agree. I agree. But guess what? We gotta be real too. What evil spirit was this dude into when he decided that he wanted to go make this dude move from under a tent when it was raining? Why did he feel that because he was under his tent, it was meant for him to go and start getting physical with him? Because from what I'm reading on this report, even from the police report, is even said that homeboy put his hands on him. He put his hands on him. He pushed him under the tent, and then he pushed him again. And he told him, "Don't push me again." And guess what? He pushed him again. He put his hands on him, and guess what? Hey, accidents happen. Now, Sky Daddy says, just look at our females. He said, fat, fake hair, and masculine. Look, I'm not gonna say that not all black women, or I'm not saying that we don't have a bad situation in the community, but we ain't talking about the community now. We talk about the burbs now. We talk about the suburbs. He's not, this is not a, we talk about the suburbs here though. He says, can I call in? Man, I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm about to that was to log off. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to really log off. I wasn't really even meaning to have any other. Once Goodbread told me he was going to sign off, I was going to sign off too, because I don't know where you're at, but it's almost 1 o'clock here in Miami, bro. I got to get up for another day. Man, I ain't gonna lie. I really wish I really had time to even hear what people got to say, but you're more than welcome to, I wish you would have said what you had to say in the chat anyway. I would have loved to read it off. But man, I appreciate y'all for just tuning in and just hearing different objectives of what's going on. Because like I said, I'm not gonna be the one to say that, that we or black people in the community don't have their own fair share of problems. But we can't always use that as an excuse for what happens in an isolated incident. I need to see him bagging up cocaine. I need to see his criminal record or something like that. Let's see Anthony Metcalf's. I don't even that's even his name, but let's see Metcalf's criminal record. Let's see what's on his report cards and stuff like that. Let's see, what's the deal with him. All we know is that he played football. He said, Callie, you can go another 3 hours, bro. No, I cannot. No, I cannot. I'm gonna be paying for it tomorrow, man. I'm gonna be paying for it tomorrow. I'm gonna be paying for it tomorrow, my G. But yo, man, I appreciate everybody for tuning in, and everybody. Look, here's the thing. Everybody's willing. I'm willing to have everybody. Look, people. We could agree to disagree, but I believe that there is a lot of nuance to the situation, and I think that one of the reasons why I was talking about this because I try to stay away from racial stuff and all that, right? I to be honest with you, I try to stay away from all the racial aspect stuff. But the reason why I was talking about it tonight is because, this situation, man, look, there's a lot of situations that could happen easily where you might find yourself in. If it's a fist, we'll all be drunk. We could talk about, oh, he should have just walked away and all that. But guess what? People are high heads. They're obviously athletes. People's blood is rushing and adrenaline rushing, and then you got this dude punking you. And, and at this point, once dude put his hand, look, especially the fact that now we know that he put hands on dude already, or he put hands on him at all. At that point, man, look, if he was not in the school and he was in a different type of situation, in a different environment, look, and let's just say he was, a different color, everybody was saying that, oh, it's okay that he did this and that and other. But guess what? People are, I don't know what it is. I guess I kind of really truly believe that the fact that it happened at a school is what's very troubling to people. Because at the end of the day, you know, you can't be putting your hands on somebody in the street. And I'm not trying to make an excuse because he's black, you know, because I wasn't necessarily saying that Kyle Rittenhouse should have went to jail. But, you know, George Zimmerman, that motherfucker deserved to go to jail. He didn't go to jail for, y'all know why he didn't go to jail. Now, you know, but, you know, some people will say that, you know, that Trayvon Martin, he brought that on himself. But guess what? Wasn't Trayvon Martin just defending himself? George Zimmerman, was he even a police officer? What are you doing putting your hands on somebody else? Look, once you put your hands on somebody, you have a right to defend yourself. And guess what? Ron Zimmerman was innocent. Was innocent in the court of law. Why? Because they believe that he did nothing wrong, even though he's the one who was the aggressor. He's the one who put hands on Trayvon Martin. But now that the shoe's on the other foot, now is a problem. I just feel that that's very problematic, you know, for people to think. Well, once again, y'all, it's Cali West. Thank you for tuning in to another episode. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you're feeling this shit. Cali West, man. I'm out here. Gone.